when Hurricane Harvey came, that inspired me to write that based on my own experiences evacuating from Houston and all the trauma that we had. Of course, now that pales in comparison to what's going on now, but at the time that was really traumatic. I actually was having chest pain when during that time. So that experience inspired me to write that one. And then
did writing about the hurricane in your fictional world, did that help alleviate the chest pain and your anxiety?
And I was more calm about it after, by the time I started writing. But during the actual experience, I actually went to the grocery store. We had waited, and we said, because we had been through here during other hurricane times and we had evacuated, and our kids were older. And I said, oh, my husband, I said, we're going to just stay here. We're going to ride it out. And the storm, it looked like everything had cleared up and it was sunny and beautiful. And then the rains came and then the storm came and we got flooded in where we couldn't leave the city. And so we're like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And I remember going in the grocery store, and this is a mega grocery store here. Every parking space was filled. The line stretched from the back of the store to the front. And there were police with rifles.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I went, and then I was like scrambling around going, oh, I've got to get food. What am I going to do? And my daughter was like, Mom, what are we going to do? And I had my cart filled with food. And then my husband called me and like, come on, we're going to go. We went to his office and stayed in there. And that's actually what Sophie and her family do in the book. But that was just, it was kind of a harrowing experience because you didn't know what was going on. There were people in my neighborhood sitting out, I'm in Texas, so sitting out on their porch with rifles, protecting their property. And
was that special for the hurricane, or is that just average Texas?
I don't see that on a day-to-day, but Texas is a fine state. It was something, it was really a traumatic experience. So, and then even the people you'd meet, like we felt going in the grocery store, I felt like I had PTSD afterwards, for months afterwards, or when it would rain. And it was kind of like you had a kinship because you'd see people go, where were you during the storm? How'd you do? And I knew many people who, at my children's schools, at my son's, about 100 families had flooded out of their homes. And I was in a group that I knit, it's kind of, my husband laughs that I knit, but we made blankets for people who were in the hospital. And so I had made some for people who were flooded from the home. And one woman, I didn't know them, we just make them. And she came to me crying because she said she'd cuddle up with that blanket, she and her family, because a lot of people, they lived in the upstairs, their house was 2-story. So they had to stay upstairs because the whole home had been flooded. So it was a really, it was an experience to remember, that's for sure.